Welcome to this latest edition of the Real Deal podcast, episode 869, season 15. Of course, we are doing our annual Super Bowl preview show. I'm joined by one Robert Sapp. How you doing, Mr. Sapp?
Oh, I am doing very, very well. We got a great game to talk about and lots of interesting news in all of sports.
So this, initially this was going to be a strictly Super Bowl podcast with a couple. We had a couple of other NBA things to talk about as well, in terms of LeBron and some things going on in Memphis. But this is the second annual Brooklyn Net Exodus podcast.
Well, second and final.
Second and final. Yeah. Second and final for a minute. This would be This would be the second and final
for forever. We won't be doing another one. Somebody else will be doing another one.
Last year, of course,
Brooklyn ain't contending for a very long time.
No. Last year it was, of course, Ben Simmons, James Harden going for the Ben Simmons in that whole ordeal. This year, you see Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant traded within a.
Also, how's that working out for Brooklyn, by the way? How's that trade going?
Great. Everything's working out great. Ben Simmons has been Ben Simmons.
No one could have seen that one coming.
No, nobody. Who? Ben Simmons didn't want to shoot. Oh, no. Who? What? Ben Simmons? You told me he don't want to shoot? So things have gone the way that we thought they probably.
2 years not playing basketball. Don't worry about it. He'll be great. He'll be fine when he gets back.
Yeah.
Okay. Injury history, confidence issues. Sure. Okay, get that guy. Go ahead.
Everything has turned out to exactly probably the way that we thought that it was going to turn out with this entire Brooklyn situation. Kevin Durant goes to Phoenix. The deal, of course, is Durant and TJ Warren to Phoenix for I had the deal right here. I get the deal. Brooklyn gets Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder. Crowder's going, of course, ended up with Milwaukee. 4 first-round picks, 2028 pick swap. So Brooklyn does recomp some of that pick equity that they had to trade in regards to what they gave up to get Harden and to get Harden and also to get James Harden. So they recoup some of that. Houston still owns their picks for 2024. 2024, and of course 2023, Houston owns that pick as well. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get to the Phoenix part of this a little bit later on. But this is, teams make bad moves all the time. It's hard for me to even process everything that just happened in terms of Brooklyn. Even though we've watched this over the course of the last
through it detail by detail.
But go
through it. It's so much to go through.
You put a super team together. All those guys ask for and demand trades, and all those guys are gone now. You have nothing left. Nothing. Absolutely zero. I mean, nothing.
Zero.
And now, so not only that, now you're going to have this narrative created amongst at least Kyrie already. He's talking about. I'm glad Kevin Durant got out of Brooklyn. You're going to have the narrative created by these players that, damn, that Brooklyn situation was terrible, man. The front office, the ownership, that's how it's going to be spent amongst them. Like none of this is on us. This is like this organization was just toxic. We never liked Steve Nash, Sean Marks, the ownership. So you already seeing that, hearing that now, from that standpoint. Some of the stuff that is leaking out. This franchise, from the moment that Kevin Durant decided to leave Golden State and to team up with Kyrie Irving, none of this shit ever had a chance. Ever. You leave Steph Curry, a top 10 player, all-time great, for a guy. it's just it's insanity. It's beyond insanity.
It's the basketball sin of all basketball sins. And you know what? We'll get into this with Phoenix. We were just about to get into that. Like I said, you know how I feel about this. I'm on record. That is my hot take. He will never win a championship with another team.
No.
So
no.
No. Like that. Like it is the sin of all sins. It is a sin. It is the reason, and this is where I want the archives. I want to show archives on this one because I remember when we first talked about this. I remember when it was all coming together, particularly when James Harden got there. It was just like, how on earth can this work with these three emotional basket cases?
Yep.
And they started, how can this work? How can this work? Like, it just seemed impossible. So, like, nothing that has happened is surprising because they're flawed individuals that impact their games. It is just that simple. Everybody wants to talk about their games, which are fantastic to watch, but they are flawed individuals that impact their games at the highest level. That's what we're talking about.
I
think, the highest level.
So,
we're not talking about can they ball throughout a season. Absolutely they can. All of them can. Absolutely. But in terms of being that thing that gets you to the promised land, being that thing that gets you to promised land, all of them are flawed.
No.
Kyrie did it with LeBron. Durant did it with Steph Curry. Two different factors, and we don't even come at me with them and their championships. It is just that simple. It is just that simple. Kevin Durant's running from the responsibility of being a man. Kyrie doesn't even like playing basketball, to be truthful with you, and we know what Harden is. So it just everybody got what they deserve. This is why I love this story so much. Everybody. The organization deserves everything. They deserve every word that's said about them as well. Everybody gets what they deserve in this situation.
So they played as a trio. No, you're good. As a trio, they played They played 16
games?
16 games together as a trio. 16 games.
What do you mean they won 16 games in a stretch, right?
No. They played 16 games together all together as a trio.
They were all on the same team together.
Yes.
They were all
yes, that they actually were all on the same team together. I know that's almost, we have to actually have footage of that.
16 games? That's not a lot of games, really.
It's not a lot of games.
That's not a lot of games.
Not a lot of games. Kyrie and Durant.
That's not a quarter of a season. That's
no,
not a
it's
quarter
not.
of the season.
Kyrie and Durant, who were together in the summer from 1919 from not 19 from the 1920 season on to up to this
how
point.
Many games they
74 together. Kyrie and Durant played 74 together. 74.
Wait, how many years were they together?
Durant signed and Kyrie signed in the summer of 2019. It is 2023. Okay. They played 74 games. That's not even a regular season.
Do some quick math here.
Yep.
How many years? Okay, so that's three. Let's just say three full seasons, right? 3 full seasons. 74 games isn't one. That's not even one NBA season. That's not even one.
No.
NBA season.
And they won.
That's not a lot of games, bro.
Not a lot of
games.
A lot
of games.
They
What's
won.
going on in Brooklyn?
One playoff.
What the hell is going on?
One playoff series.
Oh.
How many playoff series? One.
Oh no!
They beat the Celtics
in
Celtics in 2021.
You have to win multiple series to get to a champ. But I thought they were championships. You have to win way more than one series.
They won one series.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So
that's very unfortunate.
This, like, I've never seen. We've never seen anything like this. Never. We've never seen anything like this.
Fire of all dumpster fires.
Never.
They
never.
Gold medal. Go chef kiss. Everybody had to play their part so well.
Perfectly.
I couldn't construct a scenario that had an outcome like this. If I did it on purpose.
We couldn't script this for the NFL. Arian Foster couldn't script this.
It would have. I would have been able to get out. Whoever would have came in, let's put Kevin Durant James Harden and Kyrie on the same team. I would get the fuck. That's not even a thing that can happen. Get out my face. That's not even reality. I would have been so I couldn't even envision this. I didn't have the vision for this type of train wreck. I truly didn't. I didn't. John Marks and Joe Tsai are visionaries in that respect.
Yes.
They had the vision of how to turn a disaster into a national disaster, into a global disaster, until it just imploded on itself.
So
it's just the very just they just kept dumping gasoline on the fire. It was like, stop doing that. No, that's not putting it out. Stop. And they just said, nah, we like this gasoline. We believe the fire's going to be put out. Like, no, stop. Okay, sorry.
So the Brooklyn thing is up in smoke. Is done. Kyrie and Dallas.
Yep.
Kevin Durant in Phoenix. And I'll just say this flat out. Neither one of those guys are winning championships like forever. Like neither one of I'll make the prediction right now. Everybody will be high on Phoenix, whatever. Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Kevin Durant. They're not going to win a championship. They won't even get out the final. They won't even get out the Western Conference. Neither one of those teams are getting out the Western Conference. Because what you're seeing is especially in basketball over the last couple of years, with the championship teams that you've seen, basketball character still matters. Actually going out there and playing games still matters. We're going to celebrate a guy later on in the podcast who actually showed up and played basketball.
That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about who can go out and street ball, winning a championship.
Yes.
You can't F around with that stuff. You can't. It's too hard. Sorry.
So
this is the back of his point. We're talking about winning championship. What are we talking about, people? We can't excuse all this stuff. We're talking about winning a championship.
So there's no, and we talked about this endlessly on podcasts before. There are no skipping steps. There's just not.
No.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Like I don't care if your friend, guy want to play with his buddy, a guy wants to play with his friend, so on and so on. And see, again, that's why players will make terrible general managers. They're not thinking about that type of stuff. That's why you need you need an organization. You need an organization to protect the players from themselves.
No, they should be thinking about how to make their games better. Period. That's all I want my great players thinking about. Like, how do you get better? How do you beat the other guy? That's exactly where they should be thinking. No, they should be thinking about roster construction.
So Phoenix, they'll win some games. Of course, they're going to be in the playoffs. But by the way, the West is wide open, and it's not the West is not strong at all. So I'm not like the West, like the winners. To me, the winner out of this, we'll go through some winners and losers here. The winner was the Western Conference because prior to this deal, there wasn't a lot of juice in the Western Conference, to be honest with you. I mean, you got Denver on top, Memphis. There wasn't a lot of Dallas is not this actually makes the West more compelling.
I would be reasonable. I will have sense of this. Phoenix's starting five is fantastic. It's a fantastic starting five. Like that is. I mean, they will be competitive at the highest level. Like I'm not tripping. I'm not drinking. I understand how talented they are, but there are fatal flaws.
Yes.
And the fatal, we've gone to Kevin Durant's fatal flaw in terms of leadership and his desire to be the person.
Chris Paul is shy. That's one of the flaws. Chris Paul is done.
But the fatal flaw on top, I agree with you 100%, of course. And then on top of that, I need to see all three of them get through the whole thing healthy.
Well, how about
right here,
Rob? How about this? How about this?
I'm
right,
not betting on it. I'm not.
No. Oh, absolutely not. Nope. Absolutely not. How about this? Here's something. Here's some things that they don't have going for it besides those three players. Okay, and besides some of the talent, the individual talent. Monty Williams, excellent coach, right? Excellent coach. But Phoenix as a team already doesn't even like each other. DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams, those guys hate each other.
Yep.
Like, so that they already have internal strife that's been holding them down this year.
They wild.
They got their own stuff already. Like, that Robert Sarver stuff, that stuff is still lingering.
I was going to say, you want to talk about ownership?
Oh, we want to talk about, if we really want to dig deep with Phoenix, like, no,
you want to dive into this?
They are fatally flawed as a franchise. Like, they're gonna win some games, they're gonna make the playoffs, but they're like that their room for error is thin as far as just it can go wrong at any moment. And by the way, they can't beat the Dallas Mavericks. Luka is in their head, so that's for as flawed as Dallas is defensively. Luka knows he owns Phoenix, so they see Luka, they're scared at oh my God, Luka might as well be the boogeyman. So I don't trust Phoenix. On paper, like you said,
if we don't get that matchup
on paper, it looks excellent.
It would be a crime upon nature. I don't care. The NBA should rig. We should get 7 games of Dallas.
We got to. We have to.
We should absolutely get that.
We have to.
That has to happen.
We have to.
It has to happen.
So what about Dallas? How does the Kyrie Dallas situation end? Because it's going to end horribly. We know this is going to end horribly. Give me a prediction on how it ends and what happens for the end the way it's going to end.
Okay. Okay. All right. So of course this will have nothing to do with on the court. Nothing at all. Kyrie will be out one day somewhere or be reading something somewhere, and surprise, surprise, Texas as a state, and a lot of it, not the most progressive minded, and definitely not the most progressive minded when it comes to Black people speaking their mind, particularly rich Black athletes speaking their mind. Not the biggest fan base for that. So somebody will say something to Kyrie, and Kyrie will have a reaction to that. And then a reporter will ask him a question about the reaction, and then he'll have a reaction to that question. So my prediction is that Kyrie will end the season either suspended or voluntarily sitting out and will walk next year. There is no way he is in Dallas at the beginning of next season. That is my prediction.
Yeah, no, he won't be in Dallas at the beginning of next season. I wholeheartedly agree with you from that standpoint. I actually disagree from the standpoint of it will be a basketball situation from this standpoint.
Okay.
Kyrie, so when Kyrie was in Brooklyn, it always was about me and Kevin, basically. Basically, they were 1 and 1A, they were basically co-pilots. Like Kyrie, actually, he is much, 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 much better than you. But Kyrie got the stronger personality, Kevin Durant more laid back. Kyrie actually thought that they were partners in crime from that standpoint. So he gets to Dallas. It's clearly Luka's team, Luka's franchise, but Luka is nowhere near as has had nowhere near the success of Kevin Durant as far as like the championships, the experience, nothing like that. He's about 8 years younger. If he didn't see Durant as a number one, he damn sure not going to see Luka Doncic as a number one. So that's going to be like Luka's going to be like Mark. Did you remind him that this is my team? I think he's gonna piss Luka off, and Luka's going to be like, nah, no, we good, we good, Mark, Mr. Cuban, we good. I can see that coming a mile away. And again, they will have some on the court moments where they'll dazzle and they'll put up a bunch of points. And there'll be some things of that nature. Kyrie can play off the ball, but ultimately he's going to do something. He's going to piss Luka off. Ultimately, I can see
you're
that.
Talking.
Go ahead.
Here's the wonderful thing about Kyrie. We pitched 2 very different scenarios. It can be anything.
Yes,
it can literally be anything.
It could be both of them.
It can be one of those 2. It could be both of those 2. It could be none of those and 6 others we didn't see coming. It can be anything. The point is Kyrie will find a way to self-destruct. That's the point.
Yo, Kyrie,
whatever the way, he will find it. And he will double down on it.
This is going to be the second Jimmy McNulty reference in like a month. But Lester Freeman had in The Wire, season 3, had a phrase about McNulty. He says, McNulty, you set fire to everything you would get next to and walk away as it burns. That's Kyrie Irving. That's Kyrie Irving. That is him in a nutshell. Every situation Kyrie is going to blow up. It's just inevitable. It's a matter of how it's going to happen. It's just like it's going, but it's going to happen.
Yep.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at.
I have complete confidence in it. Complete confidence in it.
All right, so
if he surprised me, but I have complete confidence.
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah,
this is going to end poorly.
It's not going to end well.
Why is it going to end poorly? Because it always
is. Yes. So
when someone here's another phrase. It's not from the wire. When someone tells you, or I think
shows you,
when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Yes.
Believe them.
Yep. So
believe him.
This is Super Bowl week.
Basketball is not his thing.
No. This is, of course, Super Bowl week. A couple of days away from should be a spectacular matchup and just intriguing matchup to say the least. Some themes I had for this Super Bowl was the new quarterback is here. Brady retires. We see Matt Ryan and those guys kind of just getting ushered out. They're done. That's over with. So we have Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, two very different quarterbacks, but with similar athletic skills as far as moving in the pocket, moving outside the pocket. This is where we're at in the NFL right now. You have to have a quarterback of this ilk as far as I'm not just talking about talent. Just like we know Mahomes' talent is otherworldly, but just in terms of style of play, like this is it. Like I think this is. I actually think this makes perfect sense from the stand of them being in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady retiring in the same year. I think that's actually just like completing the transition into what the quarterback position is going to be for basically forever. I just don't see any no more standstill quarterback. So that's my theme for this Super Bowl. The new quarterback is here. What about you?
The theme is the Andy Reid Super Bowl. Like it's like, or the like just all the intimate connection Super Bowl. Like I can't describe it. I forgot even reading about the Sirianni and Andy Reid connection.
Yep.
Like it's just the teams
Kelsey
so
brothers
interconnected. That is just like the connection Super Bowl. Like this is probably the deepest connected Super Bowl. Outside of that Tampa Raiders one,
yep,
right?
I was just about to say,
coach of the other, that, like
yep.
you can't beat that, like that's too much.
Yep.
But that was crazy. But outside of that, this is the Super Bowl that just has the deepest connections between two teams out there. So yeah.
We deep dive the Super Bowl, looking at the matchups, looking at how it may play out, what each team needs to take away from the other. So, a couple of things in regards to Andy Reid. He amazingly, I was so happy when I saw this because just as a reminder to the ungrateful Philly fans, Andy Reid still has 3 players that were drafted by him on the Eagles. Jason Kelsey, All-Pro center. Fletcher Cox was an All-Pro defensive tackle at one point, and Brandon Graham. Not too bad. Not bad. Three pretty good players. Not bad. Just as a reminder to Eagles fans who still hate Andy Reid. Some of the key matchups: the Kansas City offensive line versus the Philadelphia defensive line. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
I mean, you give the edge to. It's a matchup that Kansas City has to control. So that is essential for them. But you have to give the edge to the Eagles defensive line. They built the thing the right way. They just did. And so you have overwhelming talent on the defensive line, and you have a great rotation. It will be challenging to stop my sense of it will be that then it shifts to it will be more about how Reed and Patrick Mahomes call the game and manipulate the pocket more so than just those 5 offensive linemen being dominant against that defensive line. Like it's like like that wouldn't work itself out. They're not. Kansas City has been built physically like that. So in my mind's eye, it's going to, if I say they need a probably like a 75 to 80% success rate against them, and that other 20% needs to be about play calling and Patrick Mahomes pocket manipulation.
If you're Philadelphia,
decision making in the pocket.
If you are Philadelphia, right, we know Andy Reid is going to live and die with Patrick Mahomes. Like we saw that even on a bad ankle. Like this is my guy. I'm going down with him. I don't.
He has to run the ball this game. He has to.
You said okay. I'm getting that. So let me get. Yeah. You think that realistically, anywhere from 25 to 30 carries is a must.
He has to.
Yes.
I don't know if it has to be 25 to 30 carries.
But 20 to 25. Let's say over 20.
I'm not even saying the like this isn't a game where I think you have to run even if you're getting 3 yards a clip. That's not the type of game I see this as. He has to run to slow down the pass rush. So it's going to be about the time. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be such about the calling of the game throughout the game as well, because it's going to have to be runs at the right time that gives that pass rush pause. Kansas City is just not physically built to physically dominate the Eagles. They just aren't. So they're not going to be able to run the ball. Even if the game plan was run the ball 60 times, that would be insane because they would wilt before the Eagles will,
right,
under that pressure. So that can't be the game plan. And Reed would never call a game plan like that with Patrick Mahomes. And it just can't be the game plan. So it's going to be more about when they run the ball. This is a game where you do want to be having 4.5 yards a pop because you hit them with the screens at the right time to take advantage of that rush up on the edge. Ideally, they're not, because if they're getting interior pressure, that's going to probably be a wrap on the Super Bowl if they're getting interior pressure like that. So it becomes about when they run the ball. To me,
how about the Eagle defense matching up against Travis Kelce? I think Travis Kelce, I think clearly is the best tight end in the league, and I think he's at the level where only someone like, let's say, a Champ Bailey, Darrelle Revis, that type of player, I would want guarding him individually one-on-one. Like he's at that level. That player does not exist in this game because, I mean, as good as the Eagles secondary is, they don't have that great individual super cornerback. Champ Bailey, you're talking about Darrelle Revis, those are like all-time greats. But that's the level he's at. Like if I had that type of player, even less to a lesser extent, Aqib Talib, with some of his New England Denver days, he was a great player. Used to match up against some of the bigger tight ends. What they don't have that type of player, but they do have a great collection in terms of quick athletic linebackers and safety people. What do you think they'll try to do to kind of neutralize them? They're not going to stop him because Kansas City features him way too much. He's going to get ridiculous targets, but neutralize him. You can't let Kelce wreck the game because he can't wreck a game.
Travis Kelce isn't beating you. You commit every resource you need to commit to stop him. Travis Kelce can't be the one to beat you. Scanlon goes off, Juju Smith-Schuster goes off, so be it. So be it. Those are the ones you commit one-on-one resources to. Because you're right, they don't have the individual player, and this is not about an individual one-on-one matchups. In this case, because Kelce's better than everybody else. So you you stop him. This is a Bill Belichick. You do whatever. You stop him. It's just that simple. He's not beating us. He's not a chance in hell. Because I do know one thing: if Kelsey goes off, Kansas City wins this game. It's just that simple. So you stop him. I would expect them to play him physically and to double, like I would expect them to chip him at the line and then have 2 overtime, to be honest with you, as much as possible. I mean, not chipping at the line, I'm thinking of pass rusher. To get as physical with him in his routes and then have someone else over the top of him. If you there's no world should he not be double teamed everything, and in a lot of cases, particularly goal line within that 20, you're triple teaming him. He's not going to beat you. And I think Andy Reid, of course, will have a counter to that. So you got to have a counter to that counter. Absolutely, there's a game within the game, but Kelsey can't. Nope. Kelsey can't be the one to beat you. Now, do I think Philadelphia can stop him? Every team thinks they can do that, and he gets off every single time. And I think that's going to be because of the designs of the passing concepts that Andy Reid will be able to come out of more than Kelsey's individual talent and Patrick Mahomes' ability in off script plays. But as whatever original offensive concept, I think Philadelphia will be well equipped to bracket Kelsey and be physical with him. Those 2 things I have no doubt about.
Kansas City's defense versus Philadelphia's offense. How do you think they'll go about in terms of attacking Jalen Hurts? Now, Kansas City's defense is better than I think people give them credit for. They this year ranked 8th against the run and 11th. They were 11th overall. Didn't realize that until did some digging. So their defense is actually better than they have been. Definitely have been in the last 2 years. Spagnuolo, we know he can be great in these games in terms of he loves pressure. Jalen Hurts struggled against 2 things. He struggled against the zone coverages and also pressure as well. What do you expect to see them do to try to throw him off, confuse him? Man, I don't expect to do any man to man because the receivers are too good, and that's just that. I mean, that's too simplified. That's too simple. That's easy pickings for any above average quarterback to go for man coverage. So what are your thoughts on how Spagnuolo will go about attacking Hurts?
Yep. I think Spags is going to test Hurts' mental acumen, meaning he's going to want him to throw the ball into as many mixed coverages as possible. So my anticipation, especially early on, is that he will commit resources to stop the running game of Philadelphia so that he can make it more of a mental chess match between him, Philly's offensive coordinator, and Jalen Hurts, believing that he can win that chess match with him. And so then the key honestly becomes if they can stop Philly's running game and how that looks in terms of what particular packages Spagnuolo brings against their runs. Honestly, in my head, I just have the word creative blitz just buzzing around, and I don't think that's necessarily attributed to the passing game because, like I say, I think he'll play off coverage when if he can lull Philadelphia into passing, kind of like how teams used to play Baltimore and get Lamar Jackson to that shotgun and just kind of launching it down the field. So I think that's what will happen then. But I think he will be very creative blitzing wise in order to stop that running game. Because again, I just doubt Kansas City's sustained physicality against Philadelphia's sustained physicality. I don't know if they're built that way over a 60-minute game against a like a for real boot. So my guess is Spags commits more resources to stopping that running game early on, along with some creative blitzes, in order to force Jalen Hurts into more long distance passes, and then ultimately into passing games. Ultimately more into a passing thing, and then that's when he'll play off them and make it a mental chess match, ideally.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think he's going to you're gonna see a lot of zone coverages. I think they're gonna go all out on trying to start to try to stop that run, because if I'm them, I'm daring
It's the key. It's the key.
I'm daring Jalen Hurts to beat me. Please beat me from the pocket.
So that's what you want. That's what you want.
I gotta see it. I have to see it.
If he's getting off of his leg, if he's getting off of his legs, it's a wrap. That is just a wrap.
The one thing Kansas City has going for him is we mentioned Lamar Jackson. They have seen a lot of Lamar Jackson the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. So that, there's no better athlete in the league than Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position. That will, I would think that will, even though the two teams run completely different offenses, Philadelphia and Baltimore, and Philadelphia has much better personnel offensively with the receivers and what have you. But that does give, that is a good case study as a runner, having gone against Jackson the last 2 or 3 years. Like that I'm sure that they will be looking at some tape to see some tape of Jackson and how they defended him in order to prepare for this game. But I think that, I think you gotta make Hurts. You got the main thing about Hurts is you have to keep your integrity in terms of your rush, in terms of your pass rush. Like, you cannot over pursue. You can't. Like, it's similar to Lamar Jackson. You cannot. He will be out 25-yard run in a heartbeat. He has no
80-yard run. 80-yard run.
80, even that.
That's what 80-yard run. No, he's a running back. You can't. Yeah. You cannot. You just cannot. It's just, these are just the mistakes you cannot make. He'll kill you. Like, he'll kill you. This isn't somebody scrambling. He'll take it 60 yards to the house. He will.
3 days away from the game. Ultimately, who do you like? Who are you like on a Thursday night? Who are you leaning towards right now?
Philly's a 1.5 point favorite.
That's I think
the betting money. Yeah. I mean, not a favorite. It's a dog. Sorry, they're 1.5 under.
They are underdog now. They are. Philly was a favorite.
Wait, hold on. No, you're right. Sorry. So no, I was right. Sorry. I flipped it in my head.
So Philly's 1.5 favorite. Yeah.
So right now I have Kansas City winning by 2, 23-21. As of right now, Thursday at 8:31.
I have Kansas City 27-24. I think it's a field goal game. I think the thing that I can't take away I think top to bottom, Philadelphia is a better team, more complete team. The Mahomes Andy Reid thing, I just can't get moved past that. I can't. They have an enormous coaching and quarterback advantage in this game. Enormous. On top of the fact that
they're very, very, very good.
On top of the fact, the experience. That's why I thought that reason why I thought Golden State would beat Boston in the NBA Finals, even though I thought Boston was a better team, more talented, more complete team, I thought that experience factor would play with rear its ugly head, and it did. Just something about, man, when you haven't been there as a team like that, especially a quarterback, is Kansas City, they got players who this would be their third time in 4 years there. I can't just dismiss that, especially when the matchup is this even with these two teams. These two teams scored at the same record. They scored the same amount of points. Both had 6 All-Pros on the team. Yeah, I can't dismiss, but that experience factor is a big one.
And to that point, to add on to that, I mean, it's just like, and you're facing greatness, not just greatness, immortal greatness. And that's the thing that I didn't take enough account in with Steph Curry and Golden State.
Right.
Like, Steph Curry broke them. He just single-handedly broke them with his singular greatness. And Patrick Mahomes has that club in his bag.
He does.
And no other player has that.
No.
Aaron Donald had that. Very few players in the league have that. Let's just say that. I mean, like 5 you can probably put on your hand, and that might be overselling it. He just has that club in his bag. There's nothing to combat that.
Questions for Sap.
Somebody has to rise to the occasion on the other side. We just don't know.
And we know Kansas City is never out of a game if they fall behind with Mahomes. That's a thing too.
Oh God, no!
Like they will not panic.
That's that immortal greatness. That is just different. It's just different.
They won't panic if they lose, if they're down 10 points.
Not for
third quarter.
Single solitary second. Not for one single solitary second.
Questions for Sap.
That same ish with Tom Brady. Same ish.
Yep. Questions for Sap. Questions for Sap. The biggest mistake teams make during Super Bowl week.
Yeah, I'm gonna combo this into like what I'm most interested in seeing. Is I think whoever goes into the lab wins the game, meaning comes up with some wrinkle the other team isn't expecting. And so I think that I say that to say I think the biggest mistake teams make in this time is not taking the time to put that extra wrinkle in. Everybody batten down the hatches on their system and make sure everybody knows that can play free and everything like that. Absolutely. But the great ones, they add that extra wrinkle in there that the other team just isn't expecting. So I want to see which team does have a little bit of extra wrinkle because I think that gets them the game because it is that close. And I am, of course, more faith that happens on Kansas City side. But I think that's a mistake that teams make all too often. They do not go into the lab and present something the other team isn't really expecting.
Then you win a Super Bowl with a defensive head coach and a superstar quarterback.
I think that's probably to be determined. I got to think more historically, like in my mind, to really fully answer that question. But I think particularly in this new age where you're matching offensive minds with great quarterbacks, it is to be determined to see if you can have a defensive-minded head coach with a superstar quarterback and that gel to the space where you want it to. Because Philadelphia honestly is living the dream in terms of what a defensive-minded head coach would want to build his team to, and that is Jalen Hurts' ascension, absolutely. But at least at this point, nobody is saying Jalen Hurts is a superstar. So
no, he's not.
Still to be determined. Still to be determined. But Philadelphia is the closest to it right now. They absolutely are.
Who won the week? For me, it was no question about this one. LeBron James on Tuesday night broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record that had been ongoing for 39 years. It is without question one of the most important individual records in the history of team sports, if not the most important one, to be honest with you. I didn't think that, it would be broken in my lifetime. To be honest with you.
I definitely did not think I would see that. Yep. Nope. I didn't think I would see it either. I did not.
You're talking about.
I actually didn't even really consider it, to be honest.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't consider it at all.
I didn't really consider it. I thought it was going to be one of those ones that stood.
You're really talking about. I think is the most important record right now in team sports, and let me explain why. no one I'm all due respect to baseball and hockey. No one cares about those sports right now. There was a time where the home run record meant something, and then steroids with the whole Barry Bonds. That record does nobody cares about that record anymore. It's just non-existent. Hockey, Wayne Gretzky. Now, when Alexander Ovechkin has a chance to break Wayne Gretzky's goal record in the next 2 or 3 years, if that happens, no one will care because hockey is just like in the culture. Hockey's not a part of the sports culture at a high level. It's just not. Just not. If this was the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, maybe, but in 2023, those two sports are almost borderline irrelevant. Football, like, what record is really that important? We've seen all of them broken in terms of passing wise and yards and with Brady. No one, the rushing record will never be broken considering the way the game is played. But again, it's just not an important. It's not an important record. It's a great record, but it's just not important. As great as football is, football is on another level as far as popularity. If someone did break the rushing record, it would not be getting this type of attention. It just would. So this to me is the most important record right now because of the popularity of basketball and just like LeBron James is one of the most famous athletes on the planet, one of the most famous people on the planet. And we've grown up watching this happen over the last 20 years. This has happened in the social media, that era, like Twitter, all that. So I think that that takes it to another level from that standpoint. And listen, you want to know how you know the number one reason why LeBron James broke this record? No one reason besides talent, besides God-given talent, besides all the stuff, all the intangibles. He actually loves to play basketball. He actually shows up. He actually shows up, and unless his leg is hanging off, plays in the game, plays all the games. 13 seasons, LeBron James has played 74. Imagine that. 13 seasons, LeBron James has played in at least 74 or more games in the 82-game season. I'll repeat that. This is his 20th season. 13 seasons, he has played 74 or more games, including 3 extra seasons with playoff games, if you add all those games up. So you want to break these records, you actually have to be on the floor. The availability piece is probably running 1A as far as talent goes. Like we've seen a lot of talented players not approach these records because they just didn't play long enough or just did not play enough games, injuries, all that. LeBron James rarely was ever hurt. And if he was banged up a little bit, he still played. What are your thoughts?
No asterisks on this.
No drug, no.
Don't gotta say nothing. Ain't no asterisks on this.
No.
He earned all the points.
As you're watching this, as being a lifelong sports fan, what went through your head as watching this and seeing this happen?
Come on now. This is I mean, man, okay. This is the stuff that you remember the old heads talking to you about, right? Like watching Wilt score 100, there's all those like stories, and it's just like it just took me to just like like that true, just pure being a fan, that childhood. I'm not thinking about all the inner workings of the organization and this and that and just all the stuff that goes along with being a more mature adult sports fan. It was just like, wow, I'm watching history, like for real history. Like this ain't gonna be kind of like what you're talking about with like Breeze, Brady, Manning, where the records being eclipsed every week or something like that. Like this one's gonna stand. This one's gonna stand. Somebody was joking around that I was watching, like some 5-year-old somewhere might have a chance at this record, right? Like it's just like this one's going to stand. And so just being there and just being like just that, like it's something very cool about being in the moment and really knowing like this is a historical moment that I am witnessing right now. Yeah, so I was in pure fan mode, just pure enjoying the kind of history of that, and just knowing and kind of like in my heart of hearts, like this is like we say you know, we got to see generational talents and like this and that and everything like that, but it's just like nah, I got to watch the greatest scorer of all time. I got to watch their entire career. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
You
That's
mentioned
very cool. So
you mentioned probably if somebody's gonna break it, he's probably like 5 years old right now. I completely agree with you. There were two guys that I thought were possible candidates, Giannis and Luka. Here's the problem. Giannis is 28, still like in the heart of his prime, but he only has, at this point in his career, has 15,000 points. LeBron's going to keep going. Like LeBron's going to surpass 40,000 points easily.
oh yeah.
And I looked at the same time. So at this point in LeBron's career, he already had like 22,000 points. So Luka, like LeBron's already, Giannis is already like 6,000 or 7,000 points off the pace, you know, off that pace at the same points in their careers. The problem is for Giannis, you know, Giannis got off to a slow start as far as, you know, he was kind of a project, and he has years where he averaged 6 points and 9 points, 12 points. LeBron came out the gate with 20. In year one, 27 points in year two. There were no project years for LeBron, period. None at all. Luka has come in the league on, you know, averaging 20, now averaging 30s. The scoring is not going to be a problem for Luka. The problem with Luka is he's already missing games. And I don't see the commitment to conditioning that I need to see from Luka to say that he will play that long and that many games. I just don't. I haven't seen. He's like I said, he's 23. He's already missing games. Like Luka's out. I won't say he's injury prone, but he's too young to be missing as many games as he's already missing right now. That's all I'll say. We've known Luka. That's been a knock on Luka through his short career, is his conditioning is not the greatest. When you think of the greatest scorers, Kobe, LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone, you know what they all had in common? You know what they all had in common besides great all-time talent? Their conditioning was unmatched. So, like, you want to get to these type of records, you have to have your conditioning has to almost be as equal, if not exceed, your skill, to be honest with you. And that's the thing that about LeBron James, how much money he spends on his body to maintain this level of play, to to be able to be on the court. So, yeah, I don't think that this record could stand for another 35, 40 years, maybe even more, because guys, it's too much money, and it's too much money in the game anyway. Guys are not going to play that long in the NBA. Guys, they're just not going to play that long and make as much money. Like, even if you're a superstar, you're going to be. You could be with the way these contracts are going to escalate. Like, we're talking about a guy. It's coming soon where a guy signs a $400 million deal. That's coming. That's on the way. In the next couple of collective bargaining agreements, or in the next couple of years with the Supermax contracts. So this one will stand for a long, long time. And again, we talked about getting what they deserved earlier in the podcast. LeBron James has gotten everything he deserves based on all the work that has been put in over his illustrious career that's still ongoing. Biggest disappointment. I had originally Kyrie on this, but I read this article in regards to Ja Morant, and he usurped Kyrie Irving, which is very hard to do, by the way, very hard. So apparently, this definitely happened. In a game last week, there was a situation. Pacers in Memphis. The game was in Memphis. there was some words exchanged on the court with Morant and the Pacers. Very testy game, technical fouls, stuff, regular stuff that we see from time to time. But apparently, Morant's peoples in the crowd started talking to Pacer players. So one Morant's guys in the crowd started talking to Pacer players. Morant, of course, gets involved. Shocker there, in terms of talking shit. And then you figure, oh, well, that's, all well and good. That game's over. But it wasn't over because after the game, near the Pacer team bus, a Pacer security guard said that someone from Morant's camp, they were driving a truck, pointing a red laser, and it definitely thought they definitely thought the Pacer security people thought that it was connected to a gun. I'll read you some of the excerpts here. Two members of the traveling party who spoke to the Athletic said they did not see who shined the laser from the SUV. They also don't know if the laser, two of them said they also don't know if the laser was attached to a gun, but they believed it was. A Pacer security guard in the loading area at the time remarked, "That's 100% a gun." We felt we were in grave danger, one person who was present said. Two sources spoke to the Athletic, requested anonymity because they fear retribution from those who confronted them. Think about that. They said they considered filing a report with the police, but decided against it for the same reason. T. Morant quote, come get some of this. T. Morant wasn't quoted saying this. One of the people from Morant's party in the SUV said, "Come get some of this, and you don't know how we roll. I'll show you what I got." T. Morant, let me correct myself. T. Morant was not quoted saying this. This was one of other Morant's other people that was in the SUV. Come get some of this, and you don't know how we roll. I'll show you what I got. NBA does an investigation, security. Nothing comes out of it, but one of Jai's party, people from one of Jai's group being banned from the arena. But the NBA said they could not confirm whether or not a gun was attached to a laser and that whole nine. So they basically split the baby from that standpoint. No, we don't know that there was a gun there, but one of your peoples can never come to the arena ever again. When you heard about this situation, what are your thoughts on this?
Nah, I ain't heard about this. I mean, I really hope that's not true. That's just stupid. I don't have any more thing to say about it. It's just stupid.
No, it happened.
I hope it's not true.
This happened. Like this wasn't this like this not no this happened.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about the gun being attached to a laser.
Oh, yeah.
That's
so
I know the incident happened.
Here's the thing, and Deion Sanders said something like a couple months ago before he jetted to Colorado. He was talking with his team, Jackson State, that is, about just life in general, saying, look, you got, as you move further along, you got to change your address. You got to change who you deal with. You got to evolve. It's just a part of life. I don't know Morant personally. Neither one of us does. We know we love his game. We love his competitiveness, what he brings to a on the basketball court. If you are hanging with dudes who are talking to players, other opposing players on the court, I don't know about the laser, what have you, but again, one of the Pacers security thought it was a gun. Maybe whatever from that standpoint. That's not whatever, but here's the thing. First of all, I don't want like anybody who I'm rolling with talking to opposing players. Like why? Like this has nothing to do with you. I don't even want T. Morant talking to other players and getting involved. Like he needs to sit his ass down. Been seeing way too much of T. Morant for like the wrong reasons. Like you get into it, Shannon Sharp. Like we get it. You're Jai's dad. You're in his life. Cool. That's great. But you need to just relax. Just be easy. Just be a dad. Just chill. Like you don't like he's doing way too much capping and just too much attention seeking for my liking. But this is why I gotta question Jai and his leadership from this standpoint. Like why? Like this is a scary situation. When I read this article, it's very scary. And are you you're not from the streets, because he's not. He grew up in a 2-parent home. You're not about like you're a multi-millionaire. Just not. There are no thugs. Like, remember you used to tell us there are no thugs in college. There are no thugs playing in the NBA. There's just not. There are no thugs playing in the NBA. So when you hear stuff like this, and you're hanging with people who are making with these quotes, this is how we roll. That's not a healthy situation. And if I'm the Memphis ownership, you gotta have a conversation. You have to. Even though Jai is the franchise, it's a superstar-driven league, a star-driven league. We gotta what's going on here? Why? What? We need to have a conversation, because I'm worried about your safety. You know what I'm saying? This how these things never turn out well when they start off like this. They just don't. We've seen too many situations in hip hop, right? So, these are his people from South Carolina. And another thing, and I read this, I heard somebody talk about this and made a great point. Memphis is not the place to be playing with people. If he got dudes rolling like this, and you don't they got dudes in Memphis that are about that life, really, really about that life. It's not this is not a healthy situation at all. And again, you hope that that he matures from that standpoint and doesn't you don't hear about too many of these stories moving forward. Who was your biggest disappointment?
I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have one? Okay.
No.
We already made the Super Bowl predictions. So that's going to cover it. A lot going on this week. Obviously with the Super Bowl and the NBA, with the NBA trades. We will have our Super Bowl recap show next week. Break down the game, look at some off-season stuff. Aaron Rodgers going on a retreat to make a decision, whatever with that. There's some things with before I let you go, what was your first thought about the Sean Payton flex in Denver? No personal quarterback coach in the building.
Oh. Yep. Makes sense. I hadn't heard about that, but it makes all the sense in the world. Yep. I mean, you don't think, I don't know if you value Sean Payton as high as I do.
Oh, I know a huge Sean Payton fan. Yeah. No, he's behind Andy Reid. He's been the second greatest
generational offensive mind. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. So, yeah, absolutely. Why? Why would you need a personal quarterback coach in there? Why?
I also think that move. I think that move sends two messages. Number one, it sends a personal message to Russell Wilson, like, this is my team. That's number one. And you are no longer, like, not saying you're not the guy no more, but you don't control this locker room. This is my team. This is my locker room. That's number one. The second message is it kind of, like, I think it kind of invigorates the team from a standpoint of, there was a lot of talk about Russell Wilson, the diva, and separation from, thinking he's better than everybody else. So it kind of brings everybody back into the fray. Like, okay, he's not going to allow Russell just to run to, some of this shit, like personal quarterback coaches or some other maybe crazy perks. I'm sure, listen, all-star players have perks, but I think that was a message to both Wilson and the rest of the team from that standpoint. Like, okay, it's not going to look like it did last year, in other words. So we see Sean Payton with that flex. And again, Sean Payton has that type of cachet to do something like that. He's a absolute one of the best coaches in the league, Super Bowl champion. He can do that. Like Wilson coming off the year that he just had versus where Sean Payton is at in his career. Like, no, Sean Payton absolutely can do that. And I think it was the right and the smart move for for Sean Payton to do that, just to make sure that we are all on the same page from that standpoint. Like, there's no, there's no gray area here. This is how it's going to be. I'll work with you as far as how, play calls and things of that nature. But as far as this other shit, like, nah, you don't get the Tom Brady. I mean, even Belichick didn't like it with the TB12 and the dude Guerrero, but at least Brady was winning, coming off all pro MVP years. You were horrible last year, so you definitely don't get the leeway of having a personal guy outside of the team. Like, nah, brother, that's not what we're doing this year. So, something to keep note of moving into the off season. That's going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Ril Dil podcast. As always, thanks to Rob Sapp. Have a great evening,
All right, sir. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
All right, you too.
Go Eagles.
We will, of course, be back next week with the recap show, as well as we also have some other podcasts that are lined up that we will be putting out there. You can catch my last couple of podcasts certainly on my YouTube channel. The Kyrie Irving one that I did on Sunday, that's on there as well. Have a great rest of your evening. So long.